there, this is Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, WomenOnTV.tv, iTube 247, the Women's Broadcast TV Network. Welcome back to part 2 of Sportamix, Celebrity Connected. What was the last thing we were talking about? AR Tutor. There's so much stuff going on, and there's a lot that we can't say that's going on, but that's actually pretty good in the future. Again, our guests are Jean.
Hello.
Eve. And you got to say your last name.
Morens.
Yes, I just love that.
How would you say that? I'm just curious.
I would say, I would almost say,
spelling, right?
no, what is the spelling?
Modens.
See, I was thinking it was Muraz.
Right.
I was way off.
Just think about it more, just like the first part, and then dance, as you were saying, dance.
Okay, so typical Russian telling me what to do. That's why. So she is strong, she is tough. I know this because we were talking about stuff.
She does.
And we were talking about Sportamix because your background is what?
It's in dance and acrobatics.
Right.
Yes.
And I keep saying dance, fitness, fashion are connected to Sportamix, which it is. And she didn't get that. So now we're almost on the same page that it kind of is.
I think you were just talking a little on the different languages there because I thought you were asking if I play any sports.
Well, that too.
Which I don't play sports, but I'm highly interested in what's going on in sports. So I'm
see, and that to me,
matter.
that's what Sportamix is all about, Gene. See, Gene's making faces over there.
Sure, it unites everybody within
Exactly.
the community.
Because I wasn't a sports person. I ran track. I liked wrestling. I liked WWE wrestling, but I liked amateur wrestling, and I did individual wrestling. But I like chess. People don't consider chess to be a sport, but it is.
They don't?
No, some people don't. Some people don't think golf is. But again, it's all connected to Sportamix. That's how I see it. So your world, how did you start? You came from fitness, bodybuilding, right?
Well, again, I was approached because of my involvement with Celebrity Connected. But yeah, I used to do powerlifting, Olympic style weightlifting. Gosh, everything else, volleyball, basketball, wrestling, MMA. But it really caught my eye because of the nature of the concept. It wants to unite everyone from all over the globe in one space, completely take all the boundaries off the table by allowing people to register at any age. Parents can start keeping track of their kids' achievements from, as Mr. Steinberg, who's our president, said, literally, you have a healthy baby that comes out of the womb, you can create an account and start,
Absolutely, because that's your thinking too. You want, I go to this. I think start when Tiger Woods was age 4, and his dad saw him. He saw something in him. Where's Tiger Woods now? 790 million. A couple of things going on here, but he's still golfing. Think of Serena, Venus Williams.
Sure.
Think of anybody like that. Beckham.
Like it kind of falls within a natural situation. Sport is a competitive spirit. No one's trying to be number 2. Everybody's trying to be number 1, right? And this is the nature, and it's cool. And same thing kind of goes with the teams and associations that offer this kind of interaction. So it's always an issue of finding the best spot to showcase your talent as an athlete. On the reverse side, teams are having limited resources and abilities to reach and absorb and create a team with best possible players. So having a same issue on both sides, being able to connect them in one environment and provide detailed information and allow them to communicate and mingle was really exciting. It was really exciting when I heard about it, and that's why I knew of a number of platforms that were either segmented to specific sport or geolocation, and that leaves a lot of people off the grid.
Yeah.
If you think of traditional approach. Think of a bottleneck only at the very top, where professional sports and some college, universities and such, they have a more or less appropriate budget to achieve a really good position. Everybody else is just scattering and trying to do things that is really tough. In many areas worldwide, There is no apps that offer you any kind of position to put yourself on the map. So when we did our initial test and hit 185 countries, man, we were bombarded with emails. We were bombarded with thank you letters for creating something that was missing, and we feel like we're, filling the void. I mean, we had coach from Ethiopia was asking us to help their kids with uniforms, and we got him in touch with one of our Taekwondo schools who did a run where they collected a bunch of used uniforms and they're shipping it over to them. So our mission to begin with is to make sure that every athlete, regardless where he's located, has some basic needs taken care of so they can showcase their talent at best possible rate. So, if it's a runner, he might need shoes. If it's a hockey player, he'll need some hockey equipment. Boxer will need gloves and things. So we're working on creating relationship with many brands that would work with us in helping those people in need, really, just to get them to provide with basic things that are necessary for their success.
You've talked about where you grew up and how you started in, as a little girl and saved the world of fitness at that point to where you are right now.
I started in the world of dance, but you are correct. Fitness does play a major part in my life.
See?
At this point, you like to be right. I see. I'll play. So I.
And the reason I ask about that because I can tell you have a great work ethic. That's why.
Thank you.
I mean, Natalie Byrne, Oksana Grishina, that whole territory. I mean, sports related. You guys were the toughest when it comes down to it, and it's still there. But it still needs to be utilized. There's so many pockets, as Gene was talking about, that need to be exposed by that.
Yes,
and that's where Sportamix comes from.
And I totally relate to what Gene's talking about sports and the people that are in the world of sports but struggling to get exposure, especially for the countries that are outside of the U.S.
Right.
And myself, coming from Russia, I was born there, raised there, received my education there. I only lived in the States for 8 or 9 years now. Which is a good amount, but at the point when I was just getting here, trying to sign with an agent, they're like, you don't really know what's going on. And
you don't know where to go, you don't know who's right, you're going by referrals.
You don't know anybody, and we know it's all about connections and networking these days, but what if you're not around for these gatherings for networking and but you're talented, and I believe, and I not only believe, I'm sure there's so many talented people out there outside of the US that we don't even know exist. And so this is such an exciting opportunity to get everyone on board, to get everyone to be able to showcase their talent without having an agent. Because myself, I'm signed with an agency now, but it took me years to get there. To build a resume, to ask somebody to talk to somebody, to have an interview, and then finally get signed. But that's because I'm in the States. What about people that live someplace else?
Absolutely.
Same thing in Russia. I was trained there. I was with a company, and I was getting jobs through my dance company. But outside of that, there was no opportunity really. So having this come to life is super exciting, especially because we do have dance on Sportamix as well. Yes. With the sports, obviously we have all major sports in all major languages, but let's say with dance and fitness, I'd like to connect with people. I'd like to know what are the people there right now that are pursuing dance, and if I'm not an agency representative, or if I didn't go on social media and sit there scrolling for 24 hours trying to find people, it's really hard to find that talent because it's majorly signed with agents. So having Sportamix, I can literally go in there, type in the type of dance, the interests, their foot size.
See, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, all the characters, all the nitty-gritty details that I'd like to get to find people by, I can do it on our website.
And what's your title right now?
As of my profession?
For Sportamix, yeah.
Right now I'm doing public relations and social media for Sportamix.
Okay, so you can imagine you're the perfect person to reach out outside the U.S. to that, which is a great connection.
Yes, absolutely. And as I've mentioned, the part one of our interview, that the reason why I've chosen my major is public relations, which was back in 2005. That major was very new. Nobody really knew about it in Russia. People telling me I'm crazy not going for an accountant or lawyer degree.
Well, you are crazy. Crazy good.
Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, I did see an opportunity. I did see a future there because everything is about, the networking and a connection and being able to represent yourself. So this is what I'm doing for Sportamix. As I mentioned, it came together beautifully because I was sitting there wondering what am I going to do next. And I really wanted to unite the arts, the sports, and the professional skills that I have outside of that.
All right, the one tagline that I like is from Sportamix is that we connect you to the world, right?
Yes, it is worldwide.
Right.
Worldwide. And we know how many talented people are there. We know that Russia is strong, Ukraine is strong.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get...
Always have been. Talk about Facebook.
Facebook, yes. So great indicator, just over a couple of months. We launched on Christmas,
yes.
And since then we already have over 120,000 likes on Facebook alone.
Real likes.
Real likes,
yes.
Real organic people that are coming in to see our page and stay up to date daily. And we're not only they're staying there, we're receiving feedback, we're receiving messages, and we're communicating on a daily basis to find out what their need, what their interests are, so we can reflect that with our work.
The fun thing about this, Gene gave me this about 3 months ago.
It's been rewritten.
This
about
has
5
been
times.
this has been to 17 states in 90 days. I take it all across the country with me because I'm always looking at it, and then I'll be reading it. And people, you didn't know this. People will ask me, "Well, what are you reading?" Because I like to go and hide in the corner, and I like to always look at my notes and things like this. Mm-hmm. They're like, "This is Sportamix, so what's that?" So I forgot to tell you about that. People are actually going on and looking at it, which is good. Also, tell people how they sign up.
Very easy. You go on sportamix.com, the register button pops up right away, so you'll click register and it takes you to two simple options, either athlete or a coach. If you have anything to do with sports, even if you're not an athlete, let's say you're a parent of an athlete, you have a kid that you want to track his progress of in volleyball, for instance, you can create a profile for your child and track his games, track his achievements and everything else. So by the time he's out of college, he's already had build up resume online available to any recruiter, any coach to look up, and then see where the future takes you from there.
Gene, we were in Atlanta for the Lee Steinberg 32nd annual Super Bowl party. Yes. I didn't even know he had that many. But seeing the energy and all the stuff that was going on there, that was incredible because that was my first time seeing that. Talk about what that experience was like to put that together.
Well, Mr. Steinberg is a legend in the world of sports. The guy has been around for over 40 years. He's a legendary agent. He has been lately concentrating more on football, but priorly he was representing athletes from boxing like Oscar de la Hoya.
Mm-hmm.
He had
and people tend to forget that who he had.
Oh yeah, he had 62 number one draft picks. The guy already has more keys to the cities than anyone else I know.
And he got another one in Georgia.
Yeah, he's helped to raise over $800 million for charities, created over $3 billion worth of contracts for athletes, really trying to give back to the community. I mean, he really pays attention. He's got his own agents academy, by the way, Steinberg Sports Agents.
And he's got like 4 others too, which is incredible. That backdrop along, I'm like, Lee, you have like how many of these things there?
So he's involved with many great things. He's a legend, but again, we have done business in the past and it was relevant to Steinberg Sports. As a matter of fact, funny thing I'd like to mention, I went on his LinkedIn account and he's one of those few people who has this message. Says, "Dear friends, I have reached a maximum of 30,000 connections on this account, and I would like to ask you to go to Steinberg Sports."
So you have to go.
So he's the most connected person that I've ever met, but it speaks for itself. I mean, he spent years, helped millions, went through all kinds of roller coaster rides.
Mm-hmm.
going strong, and his life of work has really shown that he's been very helpful for me. Just genuine person who gives back.
You know what was funny? There was a lot of new athletes, and it's funny because I've never seen so many new fresh faces before, and I turned around, I'm like, I know this person to someone, and then it would be like a Jeff Goff who used to play from the Cal Bears at one point 2 years ago, who played with my nephew, which was interesting. And maybe he ends up playing for the Rams.
I was at his Super Bowl event in Houston a couple years back, and that's where Patrick Mahomes was signed. Current MVP and probably a next superstar. He is a star, already a big person in football, but we expect him to really skyrocket. The guy is amazing. He has great personality, and like I said, there was a number of people who were being signed this year. Wait till we hear what's going to happen. Lee has a good eye for really cool professional people.
When did you have an idea? Because obviously outside the U.S. they call it's real football outside the U.S. soccer. But when did you actually get a sense of what American football was like for you? And the same thing for you. I mean, you might not have even been interested in it. I don't know.
I had somewhat of a. I went to high school here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So I was introduced to American football. I played it a little bit, but I kind of was discouraged because without knowing any rules, I got hit a few times. And I didn't mind getting hit. I just didn't know how to behave after that. So I was thrown out a couple times. The guy, blindsided me. I had to get him back. I guess, Sambo and MMA is not something that's acceptable in in a football.
That's like a football playing basketball.
It's a definitely tough sport. I respect it. You gotta be strong and have a great will to play it. It's a real man's sport, and I definitely respect everyone who has a will to play it, especially on a high level.
Right. Yourself, Eve?
Pause there. I did not know we were going to be filming. I'm actually coming down with cough.
That's okay.
So, sorry. Can we come back to this?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I wanted to know what your take on American football or American sports would be for you. In general.
I enjoy following it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
And the reason why I ask, because it's almost 60% of women love football.
Isn't
in
that
general.
Crazy?
It's high. Yes.
The athletes are high. What do you want?
Well, see, that's the other thing. Which could go back to Sportamix because they like that. The first thing I always found when I was in college, I'm like, the girls would always say, well, he's got a cute butt. And I'm like thinking, yeah, but what about his talent? And then they would get into the game, which I thought was fascinating.
So that's how it all started.
Yeah.
You introduced me to, I forgot her name. She played in women's league, right?
Oh yes, April Monet. Yes,
Monet
you're gonna meet her. Yeah, she played in the
back.
women's league, and she also played women's basketball. She's a publicist also out of Georgia.
How nice. By the way, you actually were generous enough to help us with the red carpet at Steinberg's event on behalf of.
Well, that was actually fun. So the rest of the merchandising, Sportamix has some great things that are there. We saw it in Atlanta. We saw it at the Oscars Gifting Suite too. Talk about what's there because you got a lot of stuff coming up now.
Well, we work with a number of brands, through Celebrity Connected, and when a lot of them are sports-related brands who offer supplements, who offer energy drinks, and and such. Mm-hmm. And being a company that doesn't have any
Celsius being one.
Yes, being an application, we don't really produce any of our own merchandising, though we have few pieces like hats and T-shirts, and we ended up creating those neckties,
Which I liked.
It just, we decided to throw a curveball. Everybody has.
And the women liked wearing it too.
Well, women wore it over the dresses, just as a statement. I mean, just
Terry
to put
wore one. Brett had one on.
We had more. Pretty much everybody at the event picked one up. It was funny to say, but it wasn't about just having a traditional shirt. But people wore it over a T-shirt or.
And a couple people came up. Can I have yours? I'm like, no, you can't have mine. I actually like mine, but there's one over there. No, I liked it. Because it was pretty cool. I really liked it.
Well, and people appreciated the whole concept, plus kind of out of the box merchandising idea. But we also were fortunate because again we received some product donations from some people we work with, like Celsius Energy Drink. I'm drawing blanks.
And there were a couple other people there because there was so much energy going on, and Terry Marie is doing one spot.
Over 2,000 people were at the event that day. Do you know that?
I did not know that. I'm not surprised.
We actually, there were I mean, maybe even more. I wouldn't be surprised if it was close.
I was amazed at how many. I mean, it's like they all came to pay homage to Lee, which I think is great.
True.
And we got a lot of them talking about Sportamix, and then a lot of the whether they were new signees, just people who were playing, they were really interested in like this. I wish I had known about this when I was a little kid coming out, and that's pretty cool.
And yeah, so we're fortunate because we truly hit something that was non-existent. I mean, again, there are different sports, there are different ways to showcase yourself, but there's not one global platform that unites everyone, including people from finance who offer, find funding to athletes, brands that provide insurance or equipment or dietary supplements, anything and everything sports, as well as non-professional staff and professional staff. So we're talking about masseurs, referees, doctors, anything that has any kind of relations to the sport has a place. Though, as Eve mentioned, right now we kind of, when you start, you got to choose chicken or the eggs, And we started with coaches and athletes, which is the main audience. And
but it also could be amateurs. It could be, you met my sister, for example.
Yes. By the way, it was a pleasure to meet your sister.
Which is interesting because.
Please tell us the story.
Well, first of all, her name is Yvonne Sebastian. So her son, Avery Sebastian, played for Cal Berkeley. He graduated high school early. He graduated Cal Berkeley early. He played with Jeff Goff, obviously, and all those people. Cal Berkeley never really had a good team, but they've always had great talent when it came to stuff. And then he played for Notre Dame. He graduated there with his master's and all that stuff. So he has a good thing. But the interesting thing about my sister, and I was telling her 3 years ago, about you should be in that world where you help mothers or single dads with their kids who have great talent, because it's tough to get them to go cross country. And the reason why we could do all this stuff, because my mom worked for Delta, so we could fly friends and family and stuff like that. So she took her son. She went to every single game cross country, and it's hard for all those parents to do that because, one, they can't afford it. Two, they have home tickets but a lot of the family members don't show up, and I didn't know this stuff. So we got a chance to know what the flights were, weather was, being in Texas, and if it rains in Georgia, everything's delayed, hotels, that stuff is very, very expensive. And going back to Sportamix, this is where it's another side where things can help.
Absolutely, people can network with one another. If there's someone who's willing to open up their home to some kid who needs to fly in, and
because a lot of times those kids don't have family members or support,
and that's the beauty about it. You can really tap into every need of this athletes. I mean, a guy coming from overseas might need a coach that will be in his corner while he's fighting. It's very important to find somebody who's on the same page and can know how to help them.
Yep.
Same thing with everything else. Like I said, our model is to make sure that everyone receives their basic essentials to be able to showcase their talent. So we're talking about uniforms, if we can, supplements and other things that we're partnering up with a number of brands to assist people in need who cannot afford.
And then in the end, we got about 2 minutes. Give the last links, social media links for Sportamix.
You can find Sportamix on Facebook. Our page is Sportamix. Instagram @SportamixLive. And of course, last but not least, our website is sportamix.com.
And what you do? She's so happy right now. Look at this. This is all about me.
No, it is. I'm a dancer, but I also teach yoga and flexibility and functional strength to athletes.
I need flexibility.
Me too. Me too.
All right.
And how can people reach out to you?
They can reach out to me on Instagram at evenmotion, same as Facebook, evenmotion, or on my website at evenmotion.com. And I also wanted to mention, based on our feedback, we're really excited about the website. But what's more important, that we hear people being really excited. Based on the Celebrity Connected event, I've personally spoken to so many people that are showed up, but not necessarily athletes, and the first thing, there might be an athlete, but then you ask, do you know anybody who plays sports? And then here goes Matthew that plays volleyball, or anybody else. So it's absolutely clear that the platform is going to be very useful for a lot of people, even if they're not athletes themselves.
It's very, very good. Gene, any last thoughts?
It's just a pleasure having you guys. I'm glad to be here.
One event coming up that you can think of that you might be able to talk about?
We're lining up a few things for Celebrity Connected. Mother's Day, ESPYs and Emmys. Something else might pop up real quick. So if anyone is interested in participating, please reach out to info@celebrityconnected.net, or you can even hit me up directly, gene@celebrityconnected.net, and we'll be able to provide you with all the details of how to come on board and take advantage of meeting a large group of celebrities who can make an impact.
And you won't be sorry.
Business.
Eve, what do you have coming up before we leave? Anything coming up for you?
Yeah, she's coming up on registering another 1 million people within the next couple of months and making sure they're having fun and interacting with one another. So she's got her hands full.
Yes, this is why I raised my eyebrows and said, "What's coming up for you?" Things are coming up left and right, 24/7 for me right now. So
yeah, media calendar is coming.
Yeah,
out.
we're working the media calendar. We're working on getting more exposure. So that event that we had with Celebrity Connected showed us that celebrities are interested in supporting us. So the next step would be to introduce them even more to our website so they can expose it to their followers, and therefore more people will learn about it, the bigger network will grow. So.
And that's it for us. This week I'm Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, the Women's Broadcast TV Network, Worldwide TV Network, WomenOnTV.tv. And please go to subscribe to all the things that we're doing. And don't forget, we connect the world of sports for Sportamix.com. We will see you next week.